There's a stereotype. He'll never take a serious controversy.
That's not what I'm there for. Can't they see that? That's not my job. I feel uncomfortable doing that. It's tougher to make people laugh than it is to make them think.
There are some most intriguing moments from The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson that are hardly known to the fans of the show. The common knowledge is that Johnny Carson was the king of late-night television, known for his sharp wit and charming demeanor while on screen. But you will be surprised to learn that not every guest left the set with a smile. In this video, we're uncovering the guests Johnny Carson couldn't just stand. From tense exchanges and awkward silences to outright confrontations, these moments reveal a side of Carson that viewers rarely see. So if you're a fan of classic TV and curious about the real stories behind these unforgettable moments, stay tuned as we explore the guests who pushed Johnny's buttons and got on his bad side. Let's get started. Over several years, Carson has been an amazing television host behind one of the long-running shows on television and has had so many celebrity appearances on the show, most of which were magicians. Overall, the experience was engaging, and the show quickly gained popularity among fans. But along the line, some of the guests on the shows got on Carson's nerves, which didn't end pleasantly for them. Before we get fully into this, let's quickly get a grip on Carson's personality and how he managed to become one of the most popular names on television. John William Carson was born on October 23, 1925, in Corning, Iowa. His early years were marked by frequent relocations due to his father's job as a power company manager. Eventually, the Carson family settled in Norfolk, Nebraska, where Johnny would spend the majority of his formative years, being also the place where a young boy's dream blossomed. It was in Norfolk that Johnny's fascination with magic began to take root. At the tender age of 12, he stumbled upon a book about magic tricks at a friend's house, and from that moment on, he was hooked. With the support of his parents, Carson got his hands on a mail-order magician's kit. With this, Carson practiced diligently, mastering sleight-of-hand techniques and other illusions. He even performed his first magic show at a local church, and he started participating in shows that paid him about $3 for each appearance around the age of 14. While at it, he adopted the stage name The Great Carsoni, showcasing his flair for showmanship even at a young age. Carson's passion for magic was more than just a hobby. It was a way for him to develop confidence and charm, qualities that would later become his trademarks as a television host. His performances at local events and gatherings became more frequent, and his reputation as a budding magician in Norfolk grew. As Carson's teenage years progressed, the world was plunged into the chaos of World War II. In 1943, at the age of 18, Johnny Carson enlisted in the U.S. Navy. His dreams of becoming a professional magician were put on hold as he answered the call to serve his country. During his time in the Navy, Carson was assigned to the USS Pennsylvania, a battleship that saw significant action during the war. Despite the grim realities of war, Carson found ways to keep his love for magic alive. He entertained his fellow sailors with impromptu magic shows, providing much-needed morale boosts amidst the harsh conditions. His ability to captivate and entertain his comrades was an early indication of his natural talent for engaging audiences. Just about when the war ended, Carson had a life-changing encounter with one of his superiors, James V. Forrestal, who wanted him to continue his career with the Navy. Johnny turned down the offer while highlighting that he wanted to become a magician. Following that revelation, Forrestal asked Carson to perform for him, and he was glad to oblige. Forrestal was taken by the performance and was really impressed by the display of skills. Performing for United States Secretary of the Navy, James V. Forrestal, was a pivotal moment for Johnny Carson, significantly boosting his confidence and hope in becoming a magician. This experience provided several key benefits and realizations that helped solidify his aspirations. After the war, Carson returned to the United States and resumed his pursuit of a career in entertainment. His time in the Navy had not only honed his skills as a performer, but also reinforced his determination to succeed in show business. Upon his return from military service, Carson enrolled at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. He initially considered a major in journalism, but his passion for performance quickly steered him toward speech and drama. Carson's college years were instrumental in shaping his future career. He joined the university's drama club and began honing his skills in public speaking and performance. During his time at the university, Carson also gained experience in radio. He hosted a morning show called The Johnny Carson Show on the college's radio station, demonstrating his natural ease behind the microphone. This experience was crucial in developing his on-air persona and understanding the intricacies of broadcasting. Carson graduated in 1949 with a Bachelor of Arts degree in radio and speech, fully equipped with the skills and confidence needed to pursue a career in television. Carson's first foray into professional broadcasting came in 1950, when he landed a job at WOW Radio and Television in Omaha, Nebraska. He hosted a morning television show called The Squirrel's Nest, where he showcased his comedic talent and knack for engaging an audience. His ability to improvise and his quick wit made him a local favorite. In 1951, Carson moved to Los Angeles to pursue greater opportunities in television. He quickly found work as a writer for The Red Skelton Show, where his comedic talent caught the attention of industry insiders. In 1954, he got his big break as the host of the game show Earn Your Vacation, followed by The Johnny Carson Show, a variety program that aired on CBS. Although The Johnny Carson Show was short-lived, it was a critical step in Carson's career, demonstrating his potential as a television host. In 1957, Carson became the host of the daytime quiz show Who Do You Trust? His sharp wit and engaging personality made the show a success and further solidified his reputation as a talented host. Carson's big break, however, came in 1962, when he was selected to succeed Jack Paar as the host of The Tonight Show. This opportunity catapulted Carson to national stardom. As the host of The Tonight Show, Carson became a beloved figure in American households, known for his genial demeanor, quick wit, and ability to connect with a wide range of guests. The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson became a cultural institution, with Carson at the helm for an impressive 30 years. His monologues, comedic sketches, and interviews with celebrities, politicians, and everyday people became must-watch television. Carson's ability to make his guests feel at ease and his knack for improvisation set him apart from other hosts. While Johnny Carson was the epitome of charm and wit on screen, his off-screen personality was markedly different. Those who knew him personally often described him as shy, introverted, and intensely private. Despite his affable television persona, Carson was known to be a perfectionist who held himself and others to high standards. Behind the scenes, Carson's interactions with guests and colleagues could be strained. He was known to have little patience for guests who were unprepared or uncooperative. Carson's exacting nature sometimes led to tensions, and he was not one to hide his displeasure when things did not go according to plan. Moreover, Carson's personal life was tumultuous. He married 4 times and had a complicated relationship with his 3 sons. His demanding career often took a toll on his personal relationships, and he struggled with bouts of loneliness and introspection. Carson's love for privacy meant that he rarely shared personal details with the public, maintaining a clear boundary between his public and private lives. The legendary television host had a tumultuous personal life marked by 4 marriages. His first marriage was to Joan Wolcott in 1949, with whom he had 3 sons, Christopher, Richard, and Corey. However, their marriage ended in divorce in 1963. Shortly after, Carson married Joanne Copeland in 1963. This marriage lasted until 1972, when they divorced amid Carson's rising fame and the pressures it brought. In 1972, Carson married his 3rd wife, Joanna Holland, but their relationship also faced challenges, leading to a divorce in 1985 after 13 years together. Carson's final and longest marriage was to Alexis Moss in 1987. Alexis was a former stock brokerage employee, and their union lasted until Carson's death in 2005. Unlike his previous marriages, Carson's relationship with Alexis was more stable and private. They lived a relatively quiet life, enjoying their time together away from the limelight. Despite the ups and downs of his personal life, Carson's marriage to Alexis Moss provided him with companionship and stability in his later years, remaining together for 18 years until Carson passed away on January 23, 2005. Despite the contrasts between his on-screen and off-screen personas, Johnny Carson's impact on television is undeniable. He set the standard for late-night television, influencing generations of hosts who followed in his footsteps. Carson's impeccable timing, sharp wit, and ability to connect with audiences left an indelible mark on the entertainment industry. When Carson retired in 1992, at age 66, he left behind a legacy of excellence and innovation in television hosting. The final episode of The Tonight Show was a poignant farewell, watched by millions of loyal fans. Carson's departure marked the end of an era, but his influence continued to be felt in the world of late-night television. Johnny Carson's journey from a young magician in Norfolk, Nebraska, to a late-night television legend is a testament to his talent, determination, and resilience. While his on-screen charm captivated millions, his off-screen complexities revealed a man dedicated to his craft, yet profoundly private and introspective. Carson's legacy endures as a beacon of excellence in television, inspiring hosts and entertainers to this day. Outside these inspiring sides of Carson, he has also had some bad days on the show, where he had fallouts with some of his guests. Among the three we have on this list, Charlie Callis makes it to the top, as he was reportedly banned from ever appearing on the show by Carson. Charlie Callis, a comedian known for his zany antics and sound effects, was a frequent guest on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. His unique style and ability to make audiences laugh with his physical comedy and impressions made him a popular guest, appearing numerous times on the show. Callis had a distinctive comedic persona, often incorporating exaggerated facial expressions and noises, which contrasted with Carson's more restrained and witty style. Their on-screen chemistry was undeniable, and Carson often played the straight man to Callis's wild and unpredictable humor. This dynamic made for entertaining television, and Callis became a beloved figure among Tonight Show viewers. However, despite their successful collaborations on air, the relationship between Carson and Callis was not without its strains. The major fallout between Johnny Carson and Charlie Callis occurred in the early 1980s. During one of Callis's appearances, he performed a bit that involved physically interacting with Carson, which was a common part of his routine. However, this particular incident crossed a line for Carson. Callis slapped Carson on the shoulder, which Carson found disrespectful and unprofessional. The incident was compounded by the fact that Carson, known for his meticulous control over his show and its content, saw this as an unexpected and unwelcome deviation from the planned performance. Carson's reaction was immediate and severe. After the show, he reportedly confronted Callis, expressing his displeasure with the comedian's behavior. This confrontation marked the beginning of a significant rift between the two. The fallout from this incident led to the widespread rumor that Carson had barred Callis from ever appearing on The Tonight Show again. While the exact details and extent of the ban were never officially confirmed, Callis's absence from the show after this incident lent credibility to the rumors. Carson was known for his exacting standards and could be quite unforgiving to those who crossed him, both on and off the set. This reputation made it plausible that Carson would take such a drastic step. The fallout with Charlie Callis is often cited as an example of Carson's complex personality. While he was beloved by audiences for his affable on-screen demeanor, he was also known to have a more serious and, at times, stern off-screen persona. This incident highlighted the contrast between Carson's public image and his private expectations of professionalism and respect. In the years following the fallout, Callis continued his career in comedy, but the end of his appearances on The Tonight Show marked a significant shift. The incident remains a notable example of the high standards Carson maintained and the potential consequences for those who failed to meet them. However, it seems there were pockets of appearances by Callis on the show after this incident. He just wasn't as consistent as he used to be. Something definitely broke with that exchange he had with Carson. Also, Bob Hope was another celebrity guest who got on Carson's nerves during his time on the show. Carson just had to condone him due to his track record in the industry, with Bob being his superior. Johnny Carson and Bob Hope, two giants of American comedy, had a professional relationship that was, at times, notably strained. Bob Hope, a legendary comedian known for his quick wit and extensive career in entertainment, frequently appeared on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. However, as Hope aged, his health began to decline, and his performances on the show suffered, leading to a complex dynamic between the two men. It turned out that Carson couldn't just say no to Bob whenever he requested to be on the show. In the earlier years, Carson and Hope shared mutual respect and camaraderie. Hope's frequent guest spots were initially well received, and he was often greeted with admiration and deference, given his iconic status in Hollywood. However, as Hope's health deteriorated, his appearance became increasingly challenging. Hope's delivery became slower, and his comedic timing, once impeccable, began to falter. Despite these issues, Hope continued to make appearances on The Tonight Show. Carson, known for his sharp wit and professional standards, found it increasingly difficult to host Hope under these circumstances. Carson prided himself on maintaining a high standard of entertainment on his show, and the noticeable decline in Hope's performance was a source of frustration. There was a palpable tension on set when Hope appeared, as Carson had to work harder to keep the show engaging and maintain the audience's interest. The strained relationship stemmed from Carson's perception that Hope's continued appearances were not based on his current entertainment value, but rather on his past glories and NBC's contractual obligations. Carson felt that Hope's presence, despite his deteriorating abilities, was more of a courtesy than a necessity, which clashed with Carson's commitment to quality and professionalism. Moreover, Hope's frequent use of pre-written material and his reluctance to engage in spontaneous conversational comedy, which was Carson's forte, created additional friction. Carson thrived on improvisational exchanges, and Hope's rigid, scripted approach did not align with the dynamic Carson aimed to create on his show. This professional strain inevitably affected their personal relationship. While Carson maintained a level of respect for Hope's legendary status, he grew increasingly impatient with the network's insistence on featuring Hope, regardless of the impact on the show's quality. Carson's frustration was compounded by the fact that he had little control over Hope's appearances, as NBC executives often made these decisions, prioritizing Hope's historical significance over Carson's preference for maintaining the show's high standards. The strained relationship between Johnny Carson and Bob Hope was a result of the latter's declining health and the consequent impact on his performance on The Tonight Show. Carson's commitment to quality and professionalism clashed with the network's desire to honor Hope's legacy, leading to a tension that affected both their professional and personal interactions. On the other hand, Carson has also shown to be a really jealous person when it comes to people dear to him, to the point that he gets angry when they move on without him. This was the case between him and Joan Rivers. Johnny Carson felt deeply betrayed when Joan Rivers left The Tonight Show to host her own late-night show on the then-new Fox network in 1986. Rivers had been a regular guest host and a favorite on Carson's show, and her departure without prior discussion with Carson was seen as a personal and professional affront. Carson had a policy of supporting his protégés, but Rivers' move was perceived as a direct competition and a breach of loyalty. This rift resulted in Carson never speaking to Rivers again, a silence that lasted until his death. Rivers, on her part, believed that Carson's reaction was fueled by sexism. She argued that male comedians who left Carson's show for their own opportunities didn't face the same backlash. Rivers felt that Carson couldn't accept a woman succeeding in the competitive realm of late-night television, interpreting his response as an attempt to undermine her career due to her gender. Following Rivers' argument, The fallout between Carson and Rivers highlights the challenges faced by women in entertainment during that era, as Rivers saw Carson's reaction as emblematic of the broader struggles for female comedians seeking equal recognition and opportunity in a male-dominated industry. Overall, Carson remained relevant on television even after his retirement. It was not until his death that attention started shifting off him. He is still very much remembered as a legend. That will be all for this video, and we would love for you to share your thoughts in the comments. We will see you in the next one.